There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Awesemo.com live before lock show, where we'll be talking about tonight's abridged 6-game slate, possibly coming down to 5 if you're dealing with weather concerns. I'm Chris Spags, joined by the returning Chubster, as his family knows him and loves him and has called him since he was 5 years old, Josh Engelman. How are you doing, Josh? Welcome back.
I'm good. It's good to be back. I'm ready to talk baseball. I've had nothing but less fun things to talk about. Oddly enough, sitting around with the fam, they insisted on playing one of the videos just to see what was going on. You immediately called me. I think it was the NFL, one of the NFL previews, and you immediately called me Chubster, and like aunts and uncles and everything just immediately look at me like, "What? Like, you know what? I don't need to explain this right now. There's not really a great explanation, and it's not going to make any sense. So we'll just skip it."
We actually, before coming on the air, Josh and I did talk a little bit about his trip, and that did not come up. So that's news to me, and it makes me very happy. But obviously, they should know that, since that has been your nickname since childhood when you were a very chubby baby, right. And they couldn't even roll you on your belly because of how chubby your belly was.
That's exactly true. I'm surprised they didn't understand it from the beginning.
But we do have baseball to talk about. We are also going to have the founder of our website, Mr. Awesemo, Alex Baker himself, at AwesemoDFS on Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow him. He'll be coming on in 10 minutes. So we're going to have him twice on this week. So we're getting double the Alex, double the pleasure, double the fun. He has an article up now for premium members if you want to check it out, his lineup card where he breaks down how he would approach the slate, which is pretty valuable given the fact that it is a very bizarre slate in possibly every way. Before we get on, Josh, I guess let's talk about what are you thinking so far from the stuff you've observed?
Yeah, it looks a little different for me now than it did when I wrote Spotlight Hitters and Stacks at 3 o'clock this morning, which I wish I were kidding, but I'm not. I've got a ton of Dodgers, a ton of Royals, ton of Cardinals. I do have a decent amount of the White Sox, but I'm a bit under the field now. I'm not loving the Braves as much because of the weather. So right now, my big focus, Dodgers, Royals, Cardinals. Both sites, too.
So for me, I was talking a little bit to Josh about this before we started. I didn't actually look at ownership projections. I didn't have time because I was writing all day and had some calls and meetings and stuff. And I ended up on 2 very contrarian stacks that jumped off the page to me as being what I would think you would want to go with. The Cubs and the Rays both have pretty pronounced matchups with pitchers who are terrible versus lefties. I think the Cubs look really great today, and especially if they're going to be all under 10% owned for the most part. I think they have a pretty big upside as a lineup. And the Rays, it's an entirely new Rays lineup, so that's fun. It's like a new car.
Yeah, I had to fix a couple guys today. I was like, who the fuck are these people? I was like, yeah, trade deadline. Half these guys, brand new.
Yeah. A lot of trading, new catcher, too, for them. Michael Perez, who's in, guy who I like a fair amount tonight. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting plays. I think that could save you some money there. But we'll obviously be talking about this ad nauseum over and over throughout the hour because there's only 6 games to talk about, and one of which we have weather concerns. What are you doing about the Miami and Atlanta game?
So I'm not really getting to a ton of the Braves bats, at least not on DK. I have a little bit more on FanDuel. I think I'm willing to ride the bats out right now, but I did have a ton of Anibal Sanchez, 35% on DK, 13 on FanDuel. I'm gonna remove that from the equation. I don't think that pitching is a good option there. But if I have some Braves bat stacks, I'm willing to roll that type of, like, it's in a GPP. That's fine for me. I don't mind too much if I eat that on a 6-game slate. If it was a 14-game slate, I wouldn't touch it at all.
Yeah, I think as for me, I'm putting in a little less lineups than usual today, so I'm just avoiding that game entirely. And I'm also avoiding the White Sox because I don't want to live in a world where we're all playing White Sox players. That's just not – I'm okay playing them in contrarian spots. I enjoy them. I get everybody hates Jacob Junis. I often hate him as well. I don't want to play White Sox today. I don't like our ownership projections for the White Sox.
Yeah, they're healthy. And in a way I get it, but I barely have them on FanDuel, and they're at 15%. This is one of the bigger gaps And honestly, it's probably the biggest gap in ownership between myself and what we're projecting that I've had probably since we started doing this, which is a really
Wow.
interesting thing to like have to work into what I'm doing on the first day back after not really paying a ton of attention over the past couple days outside of transactionally.
Yeah, you missed a lot of trades.
Yeah. Well,
Tremendous amount.
that's the only thing that, you know, I watched a lot of ESPN while I was at my parents' house. Not a ton to do, just in general. Internet connection, not exactly scorching. So lots of talking head type shit over and over again. So all of the trades, super familiar with everything that happened. But just like however anything happened since Saturday morning, no idea.
Yeah, that probably is about right for most people too. I mean, the trades were hard to keep up with if you actually were playing. I feel like because the guys were just coming in and out. I got so many alerts. Like I like DK Live Service for alerts because they actually do a pretty good job getting news out there. Sometimes before other like ESPN even. But I just had so many trade alerts where we couldn't even remember. Like Jake and I were struggling yesterday to remember which team Jonathan Scope was on, and we guessed the Brewers and ended up being right. But that was a real dodgy guess. And he's a baseball savant. If he doesn't remember trades, then how can the average person exist? Jake is in the chat right now, though, so if you want to go past for him with some stuff, people right now are talking about Glasnow. Glasnow is a guy who, as Jake mentioned, is projected for between 2 and 4 innings before they turn it over to the bullpen, so probably not a guy you're going to want to play. What else are you doing at pitcher tonight before we bring in Alex? And Alex will give his home run pick because we'll make him do it. He'll be going up against me, who has gotten it right 2 out of the last 3 days with no Josh pressure on my back, really excelling, flying like a bird.
I don't like it. I don't like it. They shouldn't even count. They shouldn't even count.
They should count double. That's what they should do.
They should count for half at best.
I'm happy with it. Yeah, how do you feel about the cheaper pitching on the slate tonight? The guys Glasnow and below.
It's all cheap tonight outside of Rich Hill. Jake asked the question a couple, I don't know, lines of text ago. How much Luke Weaver? I've got a crisp. Get ready for it. 69%.
Wow. That's a very nice percentage to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to have any percentage of Luke Weaver, 69 is probably the best.
He does seem like a guy who would enjoy a good butt in his face.
Don't we all sometimes?
That's true. I like Weaver. I don't like him at 40% ownership. That seems high.
But yeah, I don't like him at 40 either. That's why I'm going to 69.
But that's a lot of Luke Weaver.
Yeah, well, you know, he's good. He shouldn't be $7,000. Well, 7,000 DK dollars.
No, it's like he's being priced as if he's playing in Colorado when they're not playing in Colorado. So. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous now because I just pulled all of that Annabelle Sanchez ownership out. So Luke Weaver might be owned at more than 69% when I rerun this.
Oof.
Just a little curious if this stupid Brewers-Dodgers game is going to drop a lineup anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't even I would not want to play any pitcher, but like Luke Weaver, I get it versus the Rockies. That's a lot. It's a lot of ownership for old Luke Weaver. Like Rich Hill, I'm okay playing at 40% because I think it's a winnable matchup for him, and they also aren't stacking the lineup according to his weaknesses in any way.
TMCB, I'm not going to have 15% Glasnow or 13 on FanDuel. This was run with a bit higher innings projection. I'll be honest, I spent most of the day either asleep or on a plane. Didn't know that he was only throwing 2 to 3 innings, so I just made that change now. When I recrunch, he'll tumble.
Ryan Wigdor asking, hasn't Chase Anderson been good? He actually has been pretty good. So I think that's also why I think there are a couple guys there who I wouldn't mind going to. Like, honestly, I would go to Jacob Junis. I think that there's a couple of guys in that range to get away from Weaver and the chalkiness that he represents who do have some upside. And I think Chase Anderson, I mean, it's not a perfect matchup versus the Dodgers. They get on base about as well as anybody, have some good power, create runs well. But Chase Anderson has done a good job limiting hard contact for the most part. I don't hate him. I don't have a ton of them, but I definitely don't hate him. So I think that's a thought.
Only guy that I hate on the entire slate is Kyle Freeland.
Whoa, you hate him.
I got 0 naturally before. I don't expect it to change. He grades out in our rankings really poorly. He grades out in my stuff poorly. So sorry, Kyle Freeland. Not happening tonight, brother. Team Luke Weaver.
he's at a stupid price, but we did talk about this actually one of the streams where you were out, where the Cardinals always grade out well versus lefties, but for some reason don't perform well versus lefties. And I forget how they did that night. I think that was like a Monday night. So I don't actually mind Freeland in the spot, especially if he's going to be under 1% owned according to our most recent projections. I think that seems like an okay spot to play a little bit of him. Just on this slate in particular, where who fucking knows?
I mean, here's how much of a crapshoot it is, and I talk about this column P in situations like this, where it's just sort of my reference of like how good a team is relative to their salary, just overall in my projections. And almost everybody has the same rating. Royals 3.8, Cardinals 3.8, White Sox 3.8, Angels 3.8, Rays 3.8, Rockies 3.8. Then I get a 3.7 and a 3.6, but it's like, what the fuck? How do you shake that out? It's all about where the prices are for certain positions for each team, because a lot of this stuff looks super similar.
Do you want to ring up Alex now? It is his time. He's waiting in the green room, getting his makeup done right now. Obviously, a very professional show like we have.
Got it. Let's do this.
But we're bringing on board Alex Osimo Baker, the founder of our website, the top DFS player in the world, according to many ranking sites, and a certified fantasy sports millionaire. So that's right. And he also did adjust his ranking system for the piece today that he did, his lineup card, which he breaks it down by GPA now. So it's a little bit of a different pivot, still the same philosophies, but different way to look at it. Maybe a little more effective for you to look at it like a grade if you are a person who loves school.
Yeah, I think somebody else used GPA once. I wonder who that was.
Probably some asshole. Hey, Alex, I think you're on board. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Good. We're trying to make sense of this short slate, and thankfully we have articles like the one you wrote up for premium members and the lineup card you did today. What advice would you give for the folks on a sort of limited slate that might be even more limited because of weather concerns?
Yeah, I think the article I have has some really good advice. It's still valid. To give everyone kind of a look into what a premium subscription is, because I know some of the people watching don't have it. I broke down for my rankings the grades for each team have averaged, and also our projection for their ownership. So doing that, I was able to kind of see where the better teams are less owned, and maybe the worst teams being over-owned, and kind of being able to steer away from the over-owned teams and get some of those sleepers that people aren't on. Since I wrote the article, I've been watching the radar in Atlanta, and from my estimation, it's getting worse because I'm seeing a lot of dark green. That's probably too heavy to play ball in. If it was just light green upstream, then I wouldn't worry about it. But I don't have a lot of confidence that the game will play today, so I'm planning to avoid those players, even though they're projected to do pretty well today. So
you're avoiding them entirely, even the hitters?
Yeah. Right now I am, just because of the radar trends. The game doesn't start for another hour, so you could keep them in like after lock and maybe late swap if you're feeling adventurous. But based on what I'm seeing right now, I don't recommend having them.
Okay. Guys, also, if you have questions for Alex today, drop them in the chat. We'll take a few more than we usually do because it is such a short slate. Alex, much like a good crack dealer, give the people just one small taste of your article. What's the one tidbit you would give them for free to get them hooked?
So I think I'll just go over the best plays I came up with. So on FanDuel, I was finding that the Royals are very under-owned compared to their potential tonight. They have really good value. So I definitely like the Royals on FanDuel. On DraftKings, they're not quite as good a play, and the ownership is actually higher, which is kind of surprising. This is our morning ownership. We should have an update. It probably just came out recently, maybe next few minutes. I haven't been keeping track, so you can update your own spreadsheets there. On DraftKings, I'm going a little bit deeper here. Since there are a lot of teams kind of equally rated here, I'm going to some of the ones that have low ownership, which I'm looking at the Cardinals and Rockies. Uh, they're not like the highest rankings, but their ownership is low enough to compensate for that, I think. So those are my sleepers, and then I have a lot of the Royals and White Sox because those are the two top stacks as far as my rankings.
So you mentioned Colorado. Does that mean that you are not on the Weaver side of Josh and Jake's debate over Weaver and Kyle Freeland? Are you not backing the massive Weaver ownership tonight?
I mean, it's baseball, so anything can really happen. So I'll probably have Weaver in a lot of lineups, and then also have Colorado in a lot of lineups. Hopefully not the same lineups, but as long as you're not playing both in the same lineup, I think you should be fine.
Super contrarian approach, though, if you want if you want to dig real deep. Some random questions for you. Actually, let's do one that's actually relevant. It's the first time you've done the GPA for the site. Are those scores, do you feel like, lower than they would be on a larger slate? It does seem like a lot of people on a lot of teams getting their GPA would fail today or come close to it.
I was really happy about those scores, man. They look just like college.
Yeah, I think everyone reading this article is feeling good about their college grades right now.
Yeah, I saw like a 2.25, and I was like, oh man, they're doing good tonight. I might load up. My scale's different, you know?
So what I found tonight is the projected scores of all my lineups are a lot lower. So on a typical night on DraftKings, my lineups will probably be in the 105 to 110 range when I'm stacking on the high end. Tonight it's like 5 points lower, so maybe like 100 to 105. On FanDuel, I'm seeing the same effect. So the values just aren't as good, and the total point production also isn't that high tonight. So that's why we're seeing a lot of low grades.
Got it. T. McBee is asking, Alex, if you were translating your premium rankings to Fantasy Cruncher, a site that we can now name since they gave Jake and me free things, Fantasy Cruncher's thumbs up / dump thumbs down feature to correlate with your projections, how would you relate the thumbs to letter grades? Like, I guess, how would you use Fantasy Cruncher and try to account for your projections and your rankings?
The thumbs, I don't know exactly how that feature works, but I think it adds to the projection when you use the thumb. What I would probably do if I was making lineups using the rankings is I would come up with a player pool from the players that I want to use, and then do my crunches from that. You can either translate the rankings into projections, like the points is like a raw score, and then the value is a multiplier, so you could kind of figure it out based on that. Of course, I don't divulge exactly my projections because I'm playing all these games myself, so I can't give it all away. But I think the goal here is to give you guys a good enough idea that you can crush your low stakes leagues, and I think we're doing a good job with that. So what you want to do, narrow down the player pool. You can either manually input projections based on the grids, or you could also maybe use third-party projections. We're planning to have some projections coming on the site as well that you can use too. So that'll be my recommendation.
Robert's asking, when you're entering multiple lineups, how do you know which rosters to enter in single entries versus tournaments? I guess, which lineups would you try to cater more towards a single entry approach versus a large field MME?
So single entry in MME, to me, it doesn't make any difference. It's what is the size of the contest. So if it's a 100-person contest, you might use a little bit different strategy than if it's 100,000. So that's the main difference. I wouldn't get beyond that. So I mean, most of the laps that you
Are you losing Alex a little bit? I think we might be losing or is it just me?
Yeah, I was too, actually.
Yeah, so you might be breaking up a little bit connection wise.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Now you sound better.
But
if you want to repeat that last part, it might be helpful.
Yes. So it's really the player pool size that matters, not the number of entries you have. So I mean, you could enter your favorite lineup into the single entry, but if it's just a random one of your lineups, to me, it doesn't make a big difference.
Got it. Also, our COO, Tom, points out that the thumbs up / thumbs down on Fantasy Cruncher is about 8% per thumb of an adjustment. So interesting. I had no clue about that. There, of course, Tom coming through with the real info. Tom is a very smart man who is also successful at this industry despite being his beautiful face not being on camera as much as Alex is. Let's see. Any other good questions here? How do you defend stealing Josh's GPA concept?
Well, I was the one who came up with the grades originally. I mean, GPA is not a big stretch from that.
Yeah. To be fair, that's exactly why I went to GPA, because you had grades.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to differentiate but show the same sort of thing. Can't go straight to letter grades. So now we've come completely full circle. I don't show a GPA, and now you do. We'll just swap it back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, just let me know when you want to show it, and then I can stop using it.
There we go. Perfect.
It's all in the family now, so you can steal from each other. It's like, it's like if a rapper steals lyrics from another rapper in the same posse. I don't know, do rappers still have posses? I might be showing my age here. So I think it's the exact same thing as people stealing GPAs and gradings for daily fantasy sports. Alex, what's your favorite cologne? That's a weird one, but let's go with it.
What?
I don't use cologne at all, but back when I was in college, I liked Aqua de Gio, I guess.
Oh, okay. I had an Aqua de Gio stage too. Now you can just rub money on yourself, and girls will pick that up. Was that misogynistic? I'm sorry if it was, guys.
It's kind of true. I mean, it's true both ways. It's not like it's not true the other way too.
On any given night, what percentage of your entries close in the money?
I think it depends on how many people get paid out in each tournament, because it varies based on site. But in baseball, I think last time I checked, my in the money was around the same amount that people get paid out. So I was kind of playing more of a contrarian strategy to be able to get high places as opposed to being in the money.
Speaking of high places, I feel like we have to address this every time you're on the stream. Your stance on marijuana usage, Alex. What are you pro, con, or somewhere in between?
Hey, I think if someone wants to use it, that's cool. Like I used to smoke in college, and then I decided that I just didn't like it as much as other drugs. It's not a hard enough drug for me. That's the big problem.
That's not at all where I thought that was going.
Straight intravenous usage if we can. That's what we aspire to here at Osmo.com. That's what we're known for.
Team heroin.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, that was a joke. But if anyone didn't get that, I know some people always reply to my sarcastic tweets seriously, so I want to make that clear.
I agree. Alex is obviously about as straight as this can come, and then you have to keep a clear brain to deal with numbers all day like he does, and keep us employed. So I think that's all.
Actually, that has nothing to do with it. I just don't really enjoy the feeling of being high that much.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, people grow out of it. Some of us, like Josh and I, do not, but most adults do. Most adults do.
I just like food and cartoons too much.
That's true. Do you want to give your home run pick before we let you go 10 to your lineups? It is obviously a tradition now. I think you've hit 3 out of 4 or something like that, or maybe 2 out of 4. I forget what it is. So you're still at the best percentage by far of us. But Alex had a hot streak. Jake had a hot streak. I am currently 2 out of 3, which we're going to call that a hot streak, so I feel good about myself. But who would you go with tonight, Alex, for your pick?
Well, one of my sleeper teams are the Rockies, so I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado.
Great pick. A guy who hit a home run the other day when you were on. A fantastic one that I chose, so I'm with you on that. Nolan Arenado. Thank you, Alex, for joining us today. Make sure to follow Alex at OsmoDFS on Instagram and Twitter. Any parting words before we go let you tend to your lineups?
Yeah, just thanks everyone for watching. I'm definitely excited about the growing viewership that you guys are getting, and definitely shows that people are liking the show. So thanks to everyone for being part of it.
All right, thank you, Alex. So we'll see you again on Friday. Got double duty this week. We're working you to the bone.
All right, sounds good.
Later, boss.
All right. There goes our boss, Mr. Alex Baker, Osmo himself, the #1 player on DFS. Make sure to follow him seriously on Twitter at OsmoDFS and also on Instagram at OsmoDFS. There'll probably be some interesting content coming out from Alex in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye on his social media because he's going to the fantasy baseball championships in New York, and who knows the people he will come across there and be able to share with the world.
Also, if it's not Osimo DFS, it's not him. Don't buy that shit from anybody else.
Yeah. Don't let some idiot sell you lineups because you are also an idiot who thinks that the top DFS player in the world would be selling lineups like a common street druggie on the wire.
Yeah,
that is not how it goes.
Just what he needed to do: get a couple extra 100 spots while cashing for 100,000. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty much. Why don't you give us your pick, Josh? Because it is your big return. We want to make sure the stage is set for you. Do you want a drum roll?
That's probably really great for everybody's ears.
I hope it was. I hope it hurt them.
I am ready to do this. I'm not going to go to Nolan Arenado. I'm not even going to chase the Rockies. I am going to go with Daniel Palka.
Oh, okay. A White Sox.
Yes, I like white socks. I don't have many dark socks, so that is also helping me.
All right. So I'm gonna stick to my guns and go against Nick Trapiano. I'm gonna go with. It's hard to not pick Jimon Choi, but I think he might get platoon split out at some point. So I'm gonna go with Big Jake Bowers.
Is that the new nickname?
I think so. He fit. Big Jake seems right for him. I like him. He doesn't have a ton of home run. His home run rate's not going to jump out on Josh's model, but damn it, he looks good.
He's 42nd today, which really isn't that bad.
No, given that the 6-game slate, it's not
42,
that bad.
42 out of 100.
The baseball savant Jake Hari is piling on with Alex's pick and going with Trevor Story. So really digging his heels in on the no Weaver stance, and I support that actually. So good for you, Jake. Jake, of course,
Weaver's
is the hottest.
Print me some money tonight, baby. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, I think Jake's run before a couple of days off. He did have 5 in a row at one point before weather kicked him in the dick, and then his slide continued. But Jake has been very hot lately, so that Trevor Story pick might be a real sneaker. Let's see. Any good questions? I guess do we want to talk about slates more? Or do we want to take questions? I feel like it's just become either or city if we take questions.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's do some either ors. Why not? Fill some time.
Yeah, if you guys have either ors, get them in. We're going to break tradition and allow it because it's a short slate, and Lord knows we got to keep this airtime going somehow.
Tickly fingers. Who are you going with if fading off Weaver? Nobody, because I'm not.
I would say if fading off Weaver, I still like the Junis pivot off of the White Sox, and I think Chase Anderson too looks pretty interesting. I don't know. I think there are ways to go there though to get off of them. Somebody asked about Dylan Covey before. I think we brought Alex on. Honestly, I could see playing Dylan Covey. I know he's not good, and he's probably the most volatile pitcher on the slate. But versus Kansas City, why not?
There's no real need to go down that low. That's the thing.
Just to be contrarian and get off the beaten paths would be what I would think. If you really feel like you have the best stacks.
Yeah, I just like the weighted average salary based on our ownership is $7,800 for tonight for pitchers, and that's a decent amount below what it normally is. It's going to be hard to go down to Dylan Covey and spend all of the money that you want to spend. It's just not that kind of slate. I don't necessarily have like a huge issue with it. He doesn't grade out super poorly for me. He's just hard to fit in because of like if you want to leave salary on the table, I think it's fine.
I think I do have one with Dylan Covey. So like if you go an Angels Cubs stack, then Covey's going to be the dude who works for you. I think. Well, actually, this one also has Cole Hamels, but
Dodgers
was not a kind of. Oh, okay. Is Brian Dozier in? Is his big debut?
He is.
Yeah. Okay. That's not showing for me yet. Oh, there we go. Oh no! After I hit refresh, damn you, Fantasy Labs. Sorry.
We haven't talked about it yet. So obviously we remember that Friday's stream went a little wonky for me closer to lock, where I was having some struggles getting my lines in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got second in the quarter tournament again on FanDuel.
I know that because somebody tweeted it, and I was already checked out for the week mentally, and I was like, I don't really care about Josh's winnings at this point.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make my life any better or worse.
Those last 3 days before I was out, I was on a fucking scorcher.
So there you go, and now you're back. Do you think it'll continue?
I hope so. I'm hoping my uncle could hook me up from above today.
I'm hoping he does in every way but your home run pick.
That's fair.
Also, I already forgot your home run pick, and I have to put it on the spreadsheet.
Daniel Palka.
Daniel Palka, that's right. Oh, you know what? I should remember that even more because he is a veteran of my home run picks. Probably where he built his worth in the world was being one of my initial home run picks when I was on my first heater back in the day, back in the glory days of home run picks.
I'm gonna bink another tournament today. It's gonna be great.
Am I an idiot to keep my Brave Marlins in? Asks HPT. What do you think? Is he an idiot?
Yeah, you're huge. They looked like shit even before the weather. I wasn't touching the Marlins if that game was like 85 and sunny.
Well, I think he's just saying a stack of that. I guess actually no, he did say Braves and Marlins. I would hope he means mostly Braves.
Yeah. Now, yeah, if it was just Braves previously, I don't have a huge issue with it. It's really hard to go to a lot of volume now with this amount of weather. I also didn't know that Alex's dad was a professor of meteorology.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But the fun things that come out when we have Alex on the stream and Tom in the chat.
When are we bringing him on as the new weather guru in DFS?
Sure, yeah. Alex's dad might be able to draw a paycheck here. You could be the new Mevin Toff.
Yeah.
No Muncie, huh? I actually do have a Muncie lineup, so I got to get that out.
That makes life easier for me.
Does it? I mean, it must hurt you to see your favorite player not be in the lineup today.
That's a good point. It does hurt me a little.
AO Crypto asking, hey, Chris, Josh, and Alex say he liked the Royals. He did say that he liked the Royals on FanDuel more than DraftKings.
Yeah, they grade out as like the best over. They don't have my exposure because I don't think they line up very well from a roster construction standpoint. But they have my like highest ratings because of how low their salary is tonight. So I love the Royals on FanDuel. And they're my second most owned stack on DK. I mean, I have the Royals second overall for me right now.
Host Golden, pumped for the slate tonight. Bought a lineup from I'm the Real Awesemo. Got a quality line with 5 Marlins and CC Sabathia. That's what you get. That's what you get when you're not going with the actual Real Awesemos. Don't trust anybody on Twitter pretending to be Awesemo. That is actually an issue. Like, to be clear, this is an issue that somebody had and they got catfished. I don't think they sent like dick pics or anything, but they did pay for
Brewers
lineups.
lineup out.
Let's see. Anything surprising?
I don't know. I don't know what it looked like before. Scope's playing. I don't know if he was in the lineup previously.
He was in the initial projected one, but I think it was a little further down the order.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Alrighty. Now it's about that time to start my final crunches. So now we're all going to get the real info.
340 blaze up.
So I ate some really, really ridiculous hot wings last night for dinner, which made my trip a bit dicey this morning. I can still feel the burn in my stomach.
Were they homemade at your family, or were
No,
they?
No. I went to the old wing spot that we used to go to all the time when we were in high school.
Ah, okay.
I felt like I was just eating like ghost peppers. It was fucking terrible.
Were they spicier than you recall?
They were the same. I'd say they were the same.
I really like the amount of thought you put into that. You really weighed all the options in front of you.
And I got the third hottest from the entire list. That's the craziest part of it all.
Wow. Yeah. I would never get the hottest wing, especially inside a place that has degrees of temperature. Like, you're just asking for your colon to be blown out somehow.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until after I ate it. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be trapped on planes.
Well, you survived. You're here with ideally non-skid marked pants. I can't confirm nor deny that, I guess, personally. I also prefer not to do that.
They were delicious. And some buffalo chicken french fries. It was good to be home.
Healthy eating. Healthy.
Yeah, not a lot of healthy eating back home. They do trash food great though.
When you sub to the site, you get access to the spreadsheet that is being displayed. No, that is Josh's personal spreadsheet. So you get it. You only get it by pausing here, like you're checking for nip slips in the movie in the late '80s.
Who knows? Maybe there's gonna be one that people get soon enough.
Maybe, and Josh will be enthusiastically updating that theoretically every day, and he'll love to hear from you guys if it's not updated in a fast enough time frame.
Josh should have had it done 3 weeks ago.
Well, you had all those vacations.
Stupid All-Star break, and then didn't see this one coming. But anyway, I'm going to have a ton of time. Wife leaves Friday morning. Going to be out of town for a couple days, so the only thing that I'm going to do is sit on my computer. We're going to get some stuff done.
If you're a premium member, there is one more update of ownership, which just came down the pike. So go check that out. I'll refresh it while we continue with this bullshit. Placed by us used to have you sign a waiver to do the contest wings. The legend was they used actual pepper spray. That is not a thing that they should do.
No, if they're trying to fuck you up in that stuff, they're just using extracts.
Yeah, I don't think you could legally put pepper spray in wings. That would be dangerous.
Yeah, at least not on the sneak tip.
A lot of people asking about Ryan O'Hearn. People love a new name who's on the list. How do you feel about Ryan O'Hearn tonight, both as a one-off, a very cheap one-off, or a stack?
Mind let me know what team he's on?
He's on Kansas City in the Seminole.
Like, I've been away from it, you know?
That's fair.
I don't want to lie, you know? Yeah, maybe I should get him actually as a part of this.
Maybe you should get him to the Greek.
Yeah, hate that movie.
Oh.
I don't like that Jonah Hill plays a different character than he played in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I agree that is weird. And I also think it's a little overrated as a movie, too, to be honest. But still, I was willing to give you the, come on.
It's just like, like the continuity. That's what gets me. All right, Ryan O'Hearn, also not on my list. Okay, let's handle this. I'll let you know how I feel about Ryan O'Hearn as soon as I run my new crunches. So put a pin in that one for a second.
You're just building anticipation for this moment. Actually, yeah. I'm subbing Max Muncy out of a lineup, and the guys who fit the most to make sense are Nolan Arenado. I mean, the guy who fits most to be Arenado. I guess I just got to ride with that.
All right. Why is everybody saying Kier? Cow? Everybody's answering questions. Thanks, chat, for answering questions for everybody else. That's some helpful shit.
I would also go with Kiermaier. I agree with that. Tropiano, very bad versus lefties. Somebody asked about the Tampa stack, which I talked about up front. They're one of my favorite stacks of the day. Tropiano, very, very bad versus lefties. And I think that they could end up being a profitable spot tonight. Right. Muncy out. Yes, Manny. We just literally said that a second ago. But appreciate the help. It's good hustle by you.
Better than telling us he's in, I guess.
That is true.
All right, Ryan O'Hearn, come on down. You're the next contestant. Huzzah! All right, O'Hearn, not looking great. FanDuel is not so bad because he's min salary, but min salary for a first baseman is not really the best spot, especially when Luke Duda is only $600 more. So if I get O'Hearn in like a line or two, it's not crazy, but he's not really any sort of value.
All right, there we go. We have finally answered the litany of Ryan O'Hearn questions, a guy who I didn't update my stat sheet today, so he's got no stats on my thing, so I had no fucking clue. Elizabeth Carrion, who are our top two pitchers tonight? Do you want us to just make your lineup for you, Liz? We can do that. Just send your login info and your bank.
Luke Weaver plus X for me.
For me, it's Rich Hill plus X. And I don't care that he's chalky. I think he's still the best pitcher on the slate by a very large margin.
That is a very, very true statement.
Yeah, I just I'm not going to get cute today with Rich Hill. I think sometimes the logic is to get cute, and I have no problem actually fading a guy who looks good if it's a bigger slate. But tonight, if there's going to only be 5 games that actually play, I'm just gonna trust you, Rich Hill, and your many blisters. Well, hopefully only on his fingers, not on his genitals.
Yeah, I don't want to know the other one.
I would like to know. I feel like that gets you on the injury report too.
Maybe not no. No might not be the right answer. It would be relevant, I guess, but I don't want to know that he has them, like factually. I don't want to see it.
Best hitting weather in LA doesn't bother you about Rich Hill? No, because it's not humid. So I mean, it's still the best hitting weather on the slate, but with the lack of humidity, I don't mind it. Also a pitcher's park, and I think the Brewers strike out enough for Hill. And Hill's stuff is just the best on the slate from where I sit. He misses bats at the best rate, and it's frankly not even that close. Everybody else here is under 10% swinging strike rate, and Hill's been clocking around 14% his last couple outings. So yeah, I'm down with Hill. Actually, almost 15%.
Yeah, you know me.
Down with Blister Hill. Tom loves that nickname for Rich Hill. As long as it's not Dick Blister Hill, we're fine. Oh, actually, that would be because his name's Rich. Oh, he would be Dick Blister Hill.
That's the worst.
A lot of people overlook the Rockies on the road. Yeah, they sure do. That's why we have 2 home run picks from there.
That's a very true statement.
Hitters up in that Dodger game. That's a level beyond what I'm willing to look at. AO Crypto. Noted.
Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to it, although I probably should. It's just one extra level for me that I don't need.
Samar Green asking Martin Prado versus Sanchez. Samar, we are currently advocating for no Braves and Marlins. It just doesn't seem worth the risk. Weather not looking great. So, while that might be a fine play in theory, probably not the best approach unless you're doing a ton of lineups and you're willing to burn 1 or 2.
Speaking of a ton of lineups, Luke Weaver just sitting right around that 69-70 number, so I'm hoping it drops to 6-9.
I hope it goes to 90, just for no particular reason.
It can't go that high.
It should.
It can't pass 80. I think 80.
Aaron Hopkins going to bite the bullet and play Hill. Look, I agree. I think if you are playing, I mean, listen, if you're playing Hill and you have enough lineups, it might be wise to do one hedge stack just because that is also a pretty good leverage play given his ownership projections. But I'm just ride or die with Big Rich. He's also big. Everybody's big today. Big Jake, Big Rich. Oh my guys. Might be a way to identify my actual picks, by the way, is if I put big in front of their name or call them the big dog. One of those 2 things might be my tell.
Chris loves big guys.
I do. I just like calling. I feel like it's complimentary. Like I feel like I imagine them being more like a Paul Bunyan walking or Casey at the bat kind of guy. Hopefully no striking out and disappointing Mudsville. It's an esoteric reference. I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens.
You're good.
It's a short slate. Josh's spreadsheets. It's got to fill the air with bullshit. It's the subtitle of this show. Fill the air with bullshit.
Malcolm, these are GPP lineups. I don't play any cash.
Straight non-cash, homie.
The only cash I get is when my lineups win.
The rain in Pittsburgh is a concern for HPT.
No.
Yeah, I don't. I wasn't concerned about it today. Everything I see is green on the 2 sites that I check for that. So I'm not finding an issue with the rain there.
I can't stand the rain.
It's your window.
It is. Fucking Missy Elliott.
What happened to her? I'm surprised she hasn't had a renaissance.
She was in the Super Bowl like 2 years ago.
That's true.
I don't really understand why, but she was.
Yeah, that didn't lead to like a follow up, like a resurgence of her career, though. Unfortunately, or fortunately,
because who gives a shit about her?
She was pretty. I feel like she was a little almost ahead of the whole like women in hip hop thing in a way where like she would be so well received now and everyone would be like, yes, queen, oh, you're so beautiful. I love your big garbage bags fat suit thing. Like, oh, and there'd be gifs of it and her rolling her eyes. And I think that would be her spot. But it's because she was in the mid-90s. She's a kind of a forgotten relic. So I'm here for Missy Elliott, not sexually.
I was a fan.
Yeah, I thought she had good hits.
Hips.
No hits. I mean, she probably had good childbirth and hips. That much is for sure. Slide out of there like a log flume. Why can't they just make every MLB stadium with a roof? I agree, Marcos, but apparently it's very expensive, and there are also many issues with closing roofs often. Is it roofs? Rufus?
Rufus.
Yeah, I think Houston initially had a ton of problems with their roof where they were trying to close it and then it wouldn't close.
And sometimes they're on fire.
Yeah, that's the worst, when the roof is on fire and sometimes they just let it burn.
Yeah. Like, we don't need water. That's the fucking word. We're not at peak right now for us.
Chris, can you give us one more yes, Queen? Really go for it. I think I went for that one about as much as I can. That's one of my least favorite girlisms in the world. Like, that's one of my that and the Broad City episode where they had Hillary Clinton on. Those are my two least favorite thing that women have done in the last decade.
Oh God, this could be a slippery slope.
I guess it's probably better just to leave it at that. But
what's the best thing women have done?
Probably fucking me occasionally.
That's the worst thing they think they've done.
You're absolutely right. I think we both are right there. We both are.
I love it. I love it so much.
So one day back, we're already on Friday stream mode. Who is the pitcher? Who's the pitcher that you would change to with Annabelle out? If you had to switch your Annabelle out and you're super lazy and don't want to research and change your whole lineup, who would you go with?
Apparently Cole Hamels.
Okay. I don't mind Cole Hamels, but boy, has he been bad before this trade.
Well, he better be good today, because I've got 45% Cole Hamels.
His last couple outings, he has a 2.2 whip, 3.6 home runs per 9 innings pitched, giving up 67% hard contact.
Not something I'm stoked about doing, but here we are.
Hey, I have one Hamels too, at least. So I'm with you.
I want Hamels. Best I got today, guys.
How would you stack on FanDuel tonight? Do you even play FanDuel anymore?
Yeah. I won a tournament the last 3 days I've played.
Yeah. That's right. All your wins have been on FanDuel, haven't they? You can't win on DK.
Oh, no. I shipped on DK, too. I won everywhere. Everything I touched turned to gold.
I did notice. I did look up our Roto Grinders profiles the other day, and I am ahead of you in basketball. I just want that to be noted.
Yeah, I'm not. That doesn't surprise me.
Damn right. They call me the basketball kid around here.
Don't worry. I'll change that starting in October.
Also, I saw that Jake was by far the best at football, so that was fun. I mean, out of like not putting Alex and Tom and Eddie.
If I've played $1,000 worth of contests in football, I'd be surprised.
I don't play it. I guess I don't play a crazy amount cash wise, but I do play lineups every week for football. This year I'm playing probably a lot for football because I've prepared more than I think any other human being has for football this year. Speaking of which, we are going to have our wide receiver preview coming out this week. The timing depends because I've been having a little too many projects distracting me. But I am finishing the article. Once I finish the article, do the video with Josh. Lots of fun information there. Lots of fun information to come out. Wide receivers actually, I think, was the most fertile ground for me to find stuff statistically, which I just wasn't aware of. Stuff like Cooper Kupp was number 2 in the league in red zone targets last year. You wouldn't think that, but
no, you wouldn't.
Yeah. You want to guess who number 1 is?
Red zone targets?
Yep.
Gronk?
No, it is Devontae Adams.
Yeah. I didn't really think about it from like a total perspective. I was thinking more like game to game. Just thinking of big offenses that are going to get a lot of targets.
Well, that is per game, but yeah, it was. I was just surprised. It was pretty random to me. Some of the top 10. Actually, we got time right now. Might as well. I'll just talk about it. Maybe we should do the wide receiver video as a live stream just to give it another purpose. Not that we'll talk a ton to chat in it, but
yeah, I'm sure we'll get a ton of interaction for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, number 3 in red zone targets per game. Jarvis Landry, number 4 in red zone targets per game. And then Antonio Brown. And another big sleeper pick at number 6, Chris Hogan. So, again, lots of fun data that I found. I really spent a lot of time on this wide receiver spreadsheet. And pretty excited to to bust this out on my league draft, my auction league this year. How does a Rockies Brewers stack sound against Chalky Weaver and Hill in a deep pool GPP?
Rockies and Royals, did I hear?
Brewers.
Rockies and Brewers. I mean, the Brewers are a team that I barely have. I have them, as far as I'm concerned, the Brewers are like the Braves and the Marlins for me tonight. Rockies are fine, though.
Yeah, I get the logic with the Rockies Brewers stack is fine. I think you could probably get away with just doing one part of that and mixing it. Like, do one Brewers and maybe one chalky one and then one Rockies and one chalky one. But I think that's the way you have to think. Which is kind of the main lesson here. I think people sometimes forget. Like, we do make picks and stuff, and we do have our favorite guys every slate, but this is more of a thought live stream and how to think about things and how to approach and target and figure out leverage points for actually winning something. So you're thinking right, Luis, whatever. Start of the Marlins game is already delayed, so not good.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm putting 2 lineups of each team on DK just in case, but that's it. I'm not touching the pitchers.
MXM pointing out, this is real fast, rookie DJ Moore for the Panthers. He coached them in high school. Interesting, MXM. I like that. I actually do like his opportunity. Funchess, I ended up liking a lot more than I thought I would too. Funchess was actually pretty fucking good last year, which I was not aware of.
I coached 7th grade basketball for a year once.
Did you coach anybody good? Did you coach LeBron?
I didn't coach LeBron, and I was a fucking terrible coach.
LeBron is also our age, so I think that would have been tough.
It cost me more to drive to that school for the entire season than I got paid for it.
That's a sacrifice for coaching.
I was 18. Well, 19 in the middle of the season.
Straight
out of high school. Huh?
Did you want to be a coach?
I thought it was interesting at the time. I didn't have anything else to really do. I wasn't very good at it. I think that I'd be pretty good at it now because I wouldn't yell as much as I did. I thought yelling was the answer, but I'd be more like Coach K now.
Just a lot of life lessons given out and probably under the table paying that nobody will ever catch.
Yeah, all these kids are like fucking 30 now. So.
Oh, that's kind of sad. I realized too, I did mentorship for third and fourth graders when I was like 14. And now I've thought about it, and like a lot of them, I mean, it was also like underprivileged kids who, some of them were kind of going to have a tough run of it anyway, like had older brothers who were gangbangers or families that were just not there. And I'm like, boy, a lot of those kids probably have kids now. That's a bit of a downer look at the old public school system, but hey, that's life. Also, one thing I want to talk about, because we talk about being a coach, I would love it if a team just were like, hey, you're so good with data, like, why don't you join our front office? Like, that's really the hope. That's the one thing which would drive me away from here. It'd be like if, like, the Grizzlies were like, yeah, you're the new John Hollinger without you talk NBA.
Yeah. Well, don't hold your breath.
That's probably not going to happen, but there's at least a stone's throw, like a snowball's chance in hell, like, moment where it could occur.
Sure.
I look, I'm not ruling it out. That's all I'm saying. If I'm not here one day, it's because I'm working for an NFL team or an NBA team, or I guess dead last, the baseball team. The Brewers
lineups are in for me.
I should get out of Hannibal Sanchez on my one Sanchez lineup.
Yeah, there's no value there.
Oh, Hannibal.
All right, top 3 stacks for me now. Dodgers, Cardinals, Cubs. And I am massively under the field on the Chicago White Sox.
Ooh, I do like that. Sharks thing. If anything, I would say Alex would get a chance first. You would think that, Shark, but here I am every day talking about basketball and baseball. Some people get more opportunities to see me talking and making my brilliant points.
Look, it's obviously going to be me.
They can just hire us all. I mean, we just have to decide who has to be the GM amongst ourselves. That's the hope. It would be me.
That would be my angle of the stats guy with all the fancy spreadsheet shit.
I just think I would be good at making trades and rebuilding teams in particular. I think I'd be really
good. GM mode in 2K.
I do that.
So do
I. I need more. I need more skin in the game. I need actual lives at my fingertips.
Hey, maybe it is real. Who knows? Maybe when you open that game up, that's a real league somewhere in a real different universe.
Are you? Would you go Hayward or Garcia? Really? No. Yeah. Oh, wait. Garcia got traded, didn't he?
Look, we need a site for sure. Oh, we need first names potentially. Probably more than one Garcia playing today.
It's true. There are a lot of questions.
My first thought was Avisail Garcia, which seems to fit, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case.
Oh, also, if you guys are waiting to hear back about the social media manager job, we did confirm the next steps. I just have to put together an email to you all, but that'll probably be coming. Before end of the week for sure. It just depends on when I finish football stuff, but keep an eye out for that. I see some of the names of guys who submitted, so I think I got back to a couple of you on DM, but one of whom with the wrong name because I copy and pasted it and forgot to switch the name.
Lovely. I'm going to reach out this weekend as well to the 2 people I have in the hopper for GPP wins from 2 months ago. Apologies for that. July was a bit of a hectic month with 2 separate vacations and then, being out at the end. So we will get that. That's not going anywhere.
You've been living just too hard.
That's something like that.
Burn at both ends of the wick.
Yeah.
Whatever that expression is.
5 minutes, people. Get your questions in.
Avisail Garcia or Hayward on FanDuel is the question from Tedroy Spencer.
I'm almost positive it's Hayward now that I've done this.
I like Hayward more because I'm just not playing White Sox because we're so chalky. Avisail is a fine play.
I didn't know it was FanDuel. I wasn't listening.
He actually gave the site.
Yeah. Jason Hayward for me. I've got double the field of Hayward, and I've got half the field of Garcia.
I am in the same boat as Josh, but I think they're both perfectly cromulent plays.
There's a decent question.
Of either, let's do the either or. Is Kiermaier or Pham?
No site, no answer.
Kiermaier for me.
It couldn't be more relevant.
I know, but Kiermaier I know because he's a lefty and Pham is not. And I like lefties versus Tropiano. Avisail or Kiermaier on DK?
I'm assuming it's Avisail, but we'll see. No, well... So I'm way under the field on Avisail Garcia. I have more Kiermaier. I guess so. Kiermaier, I guess. Kiermaier has a higher projection for me as well. So yeah, go Kiermaier.
Boom, boom, boom. Bowers or Braun for DK? It is Big Jake for me.
Bowers or Braun? Oh, it's definitely Jake Bowers for me. I essentially don't have the Brewers. I only have 1% Ryan Braun.
Bowers, a great hitter and an even better home run pick. That's what the reviews say on Yelp for him.
Wow, dude, I love baseball dropping in questions that are fantastic.
Yeah, I know, I don't even know if it's trolling or if he actually wants to know these things, but no, I have not tried K2 or Spice, and
I have.
How did that go?
Oh, not well. The wife and I tried it once to start, and just a really uncomfortable experience. And then as things go, I always try them then again on a solo jaunt. And I remember laying on my couch, I'm by myself, no one's in the house, no one's going to be in the house, they're out of town. And I'm watching a Joe Rogan podcast on the TV, and I'm positive that it's playing the same minute over and over and over again. And I can't, I just want it to stop, but I can't get off the couch. So eventually I just roll myself off the couch and slither over to my computer, hit the space bar so it stops. And I end up back on the couch where I create a complete full language in my head. I wrote a rap song in the new language in my head. I had a buddy call me, and I was translating my new language into English so he could understand me. Haven't
Wow.
gone
So
back
that's
down
quite-
that well.
I mean, it sounds like you had an adventure.
It was. I didn't trust that it was ever going to end. I was like, how am I going to teach this language?
I'm glad you survived that, and you also brought knowledge to the uncivilized people.
Yeah, I wish that I wish I retained any of it.
I mean, we talked about my shrooms trip, but that was also one where I felt trapped, and I was apologizing to everybody I've ever wronged by yelling into a pillow and trying to text my friends that I love and I'm proud of them, and then the phone would melt away from me. So that was enough for me, and then that was after initial positivity. But K2, I just feel like I've seen so many people being tweaked on the street with that, and that's not a world I need to get into.
Yeah, I would not go back down that path again. That was a mistake. I do the easy shit now.
Just the black tar.
Yeah, just ridiculously dirty heroin. Injected right into my eye.
Jesus Christ. Is that the secret to DFS? Possibly. I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, it probably is. Dude, I have 3 pitchers tonight by all accounts. Rich Hill, Hamels, and Luke Weaver. So, eek. 76% Luke Weaver on DK.
Like, why no Junis? Why no Covey? Why not get a little weird?
I don't need to.
But it's just never that. Like, that's the thing to me, is it's never that obvious. And the slate, to me, the way it's currently constructed, looks very obvious. So that's why you go to Covey and Junis, because Junis can get strikeouts. I mean, there's nothing else he can get strikeouts.
Well, what's the upside there?
The upside.
I just need to not be bad at pitcher. It's rare that a pitcher is going to win you a GPP.
But I think it's a pretty narrow line tonight, where if Junis, let's say Junis puts up 30, and he puts up 30 at 5%.
He's not putting up 30.
He put up 30 2 games ago.
Here we go. Count if. Find out how many times I have him. What the odds that I have him going 30 or higher?
Can't be great.
No, it's not. It's certainly not.
but not
greater than or equal to 30. 2.5%.
That is a percentage.
That is a percentage. You nailed that one, man.
I mean, it can happen. It's not 0.
Meanwhile, I've got Luke Weaver at 9%.
Ooh, Cole Hamels at 26% ownership. Enjoy that, fellas.
I'm glad it's that low.
Also, to be clear, Junis has not gotten over 30 within the last couple of his last few outings. I've been 3.3, 15.4, -7.2, 9.3, 9.5, 1.2, 3.4, 23.7. So you're looking for his 1 out of every 8 games.
There you go.
And that's what we're gonna get tonight. I don't know. I feel if you're playing 150 lineups, though, I would put 5% Junis in there. Who fucking cares?
I have 8% Junis. Makes you feel any better.
Okay, good. That does make me feel better. I'll take that.
Caesar, the blue table is FanDuel and the orange table is DraftKings. That's all.
Josh, can you give picks in your created language?
Nah, I don't know it, man. I don't know it. I knew it for about 4 hours. I'm super fluent too.
Earl found great stream. Chris and Josh, thank you, Earl. We appreciate you. You're one of the regulars, one of the good ones.
Thanks for all the kind words, everybody, for in tweets and DMs and just in the chat and everything. Appreciate that, guys.
Last question before we call it quits for the night. What Dodgers outfielder would you like the most tonight?
Question. It's probably Jock Peterson, considering I have 53% of him on FanDuel and 50% on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, Jock hitting leadoff and getting the opposite hand. Chase Anderson's pretty equal versus both sides of the plate. So honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with any of them, but probably Jock because of his order in the lineup. And yeah, Josh will be on. Oh yeah, Josh, you'll be on tomorrow, right? Tomorrow and Friday because you're filling in for.
I will. Giving Jake the break since he took over for me, which I greatly appreciate.
So yeah, so it'll be Josh and I back tomorrow. Josh and Jake in the morning for the old strategy video. Jake will have his Night Shift podcast out on iTunes and on YouTube. TK loves when Spags with chat. You know what, TK? I'm trying to be positive today. Did a little meditation for the first time in a while, and nobody was annoying today. But trust me, when somebody is annoying, they will get my wrath and acid accordingly.
Quick Hits will be back tomorrow, guys. I'm back and better than ever. I'm like Mike and Mike in the morning when Mike and Mike in the morning was Mike and Mike in the morning.
There you go. And that's it. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again soon. Good luck.
Later on, people.